War breaks out in Iran, and 17 Central Ohio homeowners just texted me the same question. Should I cancel my spring home purchase? If you've been stuck in your home since 2021 because of your low rate, you're about to make a very expensive decision based on completely irrelevant information. Here's what nobody's telling you. The war didn't move Columbus mortgage rates, but the spring market just created the first seller advantage in 3 years, and you're about to miss it because the news is running explosion footage on loop. The real question isn't whether the world is safe enough to buy a house. It's whether you can afford to stay paralyzed for another year while news convinces you to wait for the perfect conditions that will never exist. The data from first 2 weeks of war. Everyone assumes that when war starts, mortgage rates immediately spike because of panic and economic uncertainty. That's what happened in your head the second you saw the news. So you're sitting there thinking you need to pause everything, cancel showings, pull your offer, wait it out. And meanwhile, every day you wait costs you more because you're missing the narrow window where Columbus finally has more buyers than sellers for the first time since 2022. I pulled the actual rate sheets from Thursday morning before the strikes and Monday morning after. The 30-year conventional rate moved exactly 0.03%, which is a completely normal weekly volatility that really has nothing to do with Iran. But if the wars don't move rates the way you actually think they do, what actually does control your mortgage cost? And why does everyone get this wrong? What actually moves mortgage rates? The reason you think wars affect your mortgage is because financial news networks need you to believe everything is connected to everything else. It keeps you watching and clicking. The truth is, mortgage rates follow the 10-year Treasury bond, and Treasury bonds move based on inflation expectations and Federal Reserve policy. War only matters if it disrupts oil supply enough to cause sustained inflation, which this specific conflict hasn't done yet and hopefully won't. The Fed already told us they're holding rates steady through spring regardless of the geopolitical noise, which means your mortgage rate next month will look almost identical to your mortgage rate today, war footage or not. So if rates aren't the problem, why do you still feel like you should wait? And is that feeling protecting you or bankrupting you? The real cost of waiting for safety. You've been trapped in your current home since 2021 because your rate was too good to give up. And you finally accepted that you have to move anyway, but now you want permission to wait just a little longer until things feel safer. Here's the brutal math. Columbus home prices went up again last year. So if you're looking at a $400,000 home and you wait another 12 months hoping for safety, you may be buying a $430,000 home, which will cost you an extra $200 per month, which is about $75,000 in total cost because we waited for news to give you the all clear. The market doesn't care about your feelings or global stability. It cares about supply and demand. And right now, the Columbus market still has the lowest inventory with the highest buyer activity since 2022, which means if you're selling, you have leverage you won't have in 6 months. But there's actually one scenario where waiting makes sense. And if you're in it, you need to know right now before you make a move you'll regret. When you should actually wait and when you're just scared. If this war escalates into a full regional conflict that pulls in the U.S. military in a sustained way, then yes, oil prices spike, inflation comes back, the Fed has to react, and rates could jump. That's the scenario where waiting protects you. But you need to be honest with yourself about whether you're making a strategic decision based on credible economic modeling or whether you're just terrified of making a move during uncertainty and using the war as an excuse to stay stuck. The pattern I see over and over again is that people who wait for perfect safety never buy. They waited through COVID, then inflation, then rate hikes, then the election, now war, and next year it'll be something else. And meanwhile, they spent 5 years in a house they hate, paying rent to their own detriment. So here's what you actually need to do this week if you're serious about moving, because the spring market window is about 12 weeks long, and you just lost a week to panic in the news. Give me a call. We can get you caught back up before you lose more time.